welcome to my channel. In today's video, I have went through all of my palettes and I have broke it down into my top 4 favorite of all time palettes and the top 4 horrible palettes. They're right over here. I don't even want to look at them. Now, the idea of these palettes are like if they were $1.50 at a yard sale, I would not buy them. That's how bad they are. Yeah, so we're gonna get started. Now, let me throw that little disclaimer out there. It's just makeup, love bugs. If I offend you or if I talk negative about a palette that you may like, I would never want to hurt your feelings. They just didn't work out for me for whatever reason. But yeah, we're gonna jump right in. I do have a cheat sheet with the amounts on them over here if you see me looking away, and I will have all that information down in the description box. Now, the first palette I want to talk about is the Tartelette in Bloom. These are in no particular order because I couldn't hurt their feelings they're like my children. I can't pick a favorite from these 4. The Tartelette in Bloom is such a good palette. In December, my son had open heart surgery. We were in the hospital. I didn't want to pack a whole lot of makeup. This was the only palette I took because it does so much. I can do so many looks with this palette. I mean, y'all see how much I've hit pan on it. I have used this guy up. Firecracker is one of my favorite colors. I reach for it all the time. I mean, look at that, guys. Oh, yeah. This one is amazing. It smells amazing. It's wonderful. I love it. I want to try not to spend too much time on each palette, too, because I think every one of these palettes, you can find 100 videos on them. So if I loved this palette because it does so much, a palette I dislike is the Estee Edit palette because it doesn't do enough. One of the reasons this palette did make the list, too, is when I was going through my drawer, I was like, oh, my God, I forgot about this one. Completely forgot about it. This palette is $58. Right now, it is on sale for $29, which I feel like the most of the Estee Edit line did go on sale. So here's what you get. This one is called the Glow Face and Eye Palette. So you get 2 of them, and they do magnetize together. I think that's so cool. This side is the face palette. You got blush, highlighters, and bronzers. And then this side is the eyeshadow palette. Now, these colors are pigmented. Don't get me wrong. They're beautiful. And I remember when I first got this, I was so excited about it. Let me just do a couple swatches. This gold is beautiful. The greens and the blues. Y'all know that blue. Y'all know that blue made me happy. The colors are very pigmented, very pretty. I mean, look at that blue. It's like that old slick color. Very, very pretty. What I just don't love about it is this is more of like a eyeshadow, just an eyeshadow palette. So you're going to have to pull out another palette to do like the crease color and the all over color because they're all shimmers. If I was going to do that, and this is kind of what happened this year, I would use another eyeshadow palette and then I would pick up, you guys know I've raved about these. These are the Maybelline Single Shadows. I would just use one of these colors. There's nothing special about this. You get 6 eyeshadows that I feel like I could find in a drugstore. They are creamy. They are pigmented. I just don't think it's worth, at this point, I don't think it's worth $30. And I absolutely did not love the face part. And you can't buy them separate. So you're forced to pay like that much for both of them. When I paid $60 for it, it was like 30 bucks. So I ended up paying $60 for 6 eyeshadows. No. Definitely not. At 30 bucks, I don't know. I mean, I still feel like go save your money and buy some of these singles. I think they're much, I mean, they're $3.99. These are what they're gonna, no, don't do it, girl. All right, let's talk about a palette that I love. Do y'all see my face? How I'm like, yay! The Mario palette. This palette I used so much last, like, winter, fall. These colors are, I mean, y'all see I've hit pan on several of them. Bronx is the prettiest green I may have in my collection. Sorry, I'm trying to keep myself clean over here. Claudia is a beautiful blue. And then let's do Fifth Avenue because that one is such a pretty color. These are so pigmented. They're creamy. Oh, Lord, get ready for the cream. These are very, very creamy shadows. They all work well. There's something about the layout of this palette that just makes me happy. It's small. It's easy to travel with. This one is definitely a get it, girl. And as I say that, when I did look before the video, I couldn't find it in many places. So I hope I'm not talking about a palette that's not out there no more. I'll keep looking and I'll get it. I'll find it somewhere and I'll put it down in the description box. All right, so let's talk about a palette that I didn't love so much, and it's the Urban Decay Smoky palette. Now, I don't own any of the Urban Decay Naked palettes. They never really appealed to me. I know that there's a cult following on them. It just wasn't my thing. So when I saw this, it is $54, but it's on sale now for $27. I don't know, guys. I did buy it because I didn't have any of the Naked palettes, but the first thing you can see is I have not even pulled the plastic off the mirror. The way I look at that is if I get a new outfit and I come home and try it on and it fits perfect, I'm going to rip that tag off and I'm going to hang her in my closet. That was so violent. So anytime you see one of my products that still has that, that's kind of how I feel like the price tag on clothing. It just means I didn't use it. And if you look at it, you can see I did not. I think I used it like 2 or 3 times, and every time, if you've ever just had a bad eyeshadow day where the colors looked muddy or it just didn't look good, that's how I felt when I did use this palette. It's just like it created bad eyeshadow day. I don't know what it is about it that I don't love, but I just, even at, you know, $30, I don't think it's worth it. All right, let's talk about a palette that I do think is worth it. Oh my God, I know you guys are sick of hearing about this one. This one is the Tarte Clay palette. It is $46, but I found it on sale for $23. I know, I can't believe that. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not even showing y'all the front. I have swatched this and played in it in Sephora and Ulta a few times, but never really bought it. I did see, I'll try to put in the description box, there's a link to like a secret Sephora thing that you can click on and you can see what specials they're running at that time. It's like the weekly wows, I believe. So when I saw this for $23, I was like, well, yeah, I'll go ahead and try it. Now, to be honest, I love the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. That's kind of what kept me from ever getting this palette, because I can't really justify another solid matte palette until I found out what all this palette does. First of all, it smells freaking amazing. There are days I literally come in my beauty room, open this up, and just walk out. That's how good it smells. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells like cocoa powder. It's amazing. What I love about this palette, recently we were back in the hospital with my son. This was the only palette I took because it does everything. Absolutely everything. If you only can have one palette for Christmas, I might suggest this one. I would suggest this one if you might be on a budget. Even though it is even like $50, it does so much. You've got a highlighter face powder. You've got a all over setting face powder. You've got eyebrows, bronzer. You can even use these as blush. And then, of course, you got beautiful matte colors. It does so much. Eyebrows. Did I mention eyebrows? And the black, this color right here, I like to use as an eyeliner. Shadow liners do really good if you've got watery eyes. This palette, I can't say enough good things about it. I would buy this palette at $50. I think it's worth every penny. I can't believe I got it for $23. I am trying to rub it in now. This palette is amazing. Absolutely amazing. A palette that was not amazing is the Too Faced Nikkie Tutorial Power of Makeup. Now, I have noticed as watching videos on YouTube, I have noticed, I got to fix my whole sentence there. A lot of times when YouTubers don't want to be taken off of PR, or maybe they don't want to offend another YouTuber, especially when there's a collab, I hear them say things like, maybe I got a dud, or maybe I got a bad one. I don't know what's going on with this palette. It was bad all over. Maybe I did get a dud. I don't know. But I feel like there was a lot of bad ones if I got a bad one, because everyone kind of hated this, but just a few people. First of all, y'all can see, I tried to like it. The black even has that hard copy on it where I tried to use it as an eyeliner. It fell so short. The Chocolate Soleil, I love that. I have it in a bronzer. Justify My Love, I don't use these. It's so bad. I'm trying to think of other words. It's so bad. Let's see, the Mystic Hour and Wham Bam. I thought originally when I opened it, I was like, oh my God, these are going to be beautiful. They're Do you see? It's like there's no, and then of course when you blend them, they blend down to nothing. There's nothing special about this palette. The only place I could find it was at Walmart for $64.11. $64.11. If this palette was $6.41, I would say no. It's so, I wouldn't even give this to my niece to play makeup with. It's just a bad palette. I don't know what went wrong with it. Let's talk about a palette that I know what went right. Oh my God, the Jaclyn Hill palette, guys. I know y'all are sick of hearing about it, but I love this palette. This palette is amazing. This one is $38. It's one of the cheaper palettes I do have on my list, which it's probably my favorite. I don't want the other palettes to hear, but the reason I love it so much is there's things in this palette, shadows, shades, blendability, creaminess that I don't have in any other palette. I did tape my little name card up here so I could, still have that. So I don't even mind. Mine's a dirty palette. I don't even care. It's so good. I'm okay with all of that. I thought this was gonna, sometimes with Morphe you end up getting 50,000 shades, but maybe only using 2 of them. And I was afraid that was gonna happen. But as you can see, there's not one color in here that I don't use. They are just so good. I'm trying to get y'all some shades. They are creamy. They blend so well. And you guys see, I'm not even doing like hard swatching. I am just swatching. Look, somebody tell me these are not beautiful. Like, I get excited talking about this palette. I do know that you can get it now at Ulta, and I think they were talking about it's coming out. She's like redid the whole thing where it's not like it won't get dirty, and they're putting the names of the shades on the back or in it or somewhere. It's also not limited edition, which I am so happy about that. It's like when a good palette comes out and it's limited edition and we want it to stay around, and then they make it permanent, then we scream at them for lying to us. I don't understand that concept. I'm so happy that she is here to stay. You can get her at Ulta. Yeah, she is just amazing. There are days that I literally pick this palette up just to use creamsicle. Such a good, if you're doing like an ombre or a sunset look, oh my goodness, this color looks so pretty as a transition color. It's beautiful, and I feel like this palette does something that no other palette does. I think it's worth every penny. If you get your hands on it, get your hands on it. It's that good. All right, so it's excited about that. We're going to have to talk about one that I don't like. Okay, I want to say, first of all, I hate this palette. And I don't hate many things. I hate violence. I hate bullying. I hate English peas. And I hate this palette. This palette is on the list with bullying. That's how much I hate this palette. If you guys want a full video just on this, I'll be more than happy to do that. Let me know down in the comments. For the sake of this video, I just don't want to start cussing and being ugly, Angie, so I'm just going to give you the key points. When I first got it, it smelled terrible. Of course, they all did. My palette looks funny because I noticed the pots were wiggly, and if you barely tap it, they just fall out. Y'all see that? So when I put them back, they're not in the right spot. So before I even applied the eyeshadow or swatched it, I sent an email and I said, hey, my palette smells bad and my pots are falling out. I figured they could maybe send me another one where that stuff wasn't happening. And they sent me back an email telling me to leave it out overnight, or hot glue the pot, or I could hot glue the pans back into the palette, or I could depot them into a Z palette. This palette is $45. For $45, I should not have to do nothing. I should not have to re-glue something. I should not have to depot. Don't get me started. Don't. Bring it back in, Angie. Bring it back in, girl. You're happy. $45. Are you kidding me? Now, I don't understand where the the confusion is on this palette, okay? Because I feel like when you bring up Kylie Cosmetics, you have people that just love the line or people that hate the line. Now, sometimes it's a personal preference. I'm going to give you an example of the Subculture palette. Some people hated the shadows because they were too powdery, but some people loved that because they were easier to blend. I understand that. That's called a personal preference. No big deal. I completely understand where that the divided line is. I don't understand the divided line on this. I'm not going to sit here and say I got a bad palette. I don't believe that for a second. The quality of these are worse than drugstore. They're not pigmented. They blend away to nothing. Now, another thing that's so frustrating is I had decided not to purchase this palette. I had already purchased some lip kits and some highlighters. I was not impressed. I like Kylie. I think she's just too gorgeous. I love watching the show. I like her, but I feel like these are just overpriced makeup and her name's attached to it. But that's fine. You do you, girl. You go make your money. I'm okay with that. The problem I had with this was I was talked in to buying this palette by some YouTubers. I ended up unsubbing them after I got my palette. I went to recreate one look that the girl had did, and I realized she was either double dipping into the pan or she was cutting frames to make it look better than it was. That's blatantly lying to me as a consumer. I hated that. I think that's where the hate comes from. I feel lied to as a consumer, and I did my research, so it frustrates me that I was kind of taken advantage of. That's how I feel about this palette. When it comes to makeup, though, I just got through saying it. If I don't like something, I'll just return it. I don't mind. It's no big deal. But you can't return this. So Kylie Cosmetics, there's no exchanges and no returns. Even Walmart lets you return something that you don't like. I'm not joking. Go buy a bag of potato chips, take them back to Walmart. They will give you your money back. I felt like I was stuck with this, and initially that's what happened. I do know that there are fakes on the market, so I get that maybe they're afraid of people returning fakes. That's not a consumer's issue. If you've got a bad product, they should allow you to return it, bottom line. I asked her, what do I do with it? What am I supposed to do with this palette then? And I was told to give it away or sell it. I would not give this palette to someone I don't even like. It's that bad. I don't even want to swatch it. I get frustrated, obviously, with this palette. I don't even want... See that blue? And I remember thinking, oh, okay, at least it's pigmented, but it's not. And do you see how powdery it is? And then, if you take a brush and try to blend it, it blends... Oh, that brush already had something in it. It blends away to absolutely nothing. You cannot see it. One YouTuber used this lime green color right here. She used it... And when I went back, it was like, look at that, guys. Look, I don't think I got a bad palette. It's just horrible. Whatever, I don't want to talk about this no more. Okay, so let's move along. Because I did not want to finish the video on a bad sour note, we do have a few honorable mentions. The first one is the Peach palette. This one is so good. This would totally be in my top 4 favorite palettes if I didn't have the Jaclyn Hill palette. Just because some of the shades are in this palette. If you don't have the Jaclyn Hill palette, though, check this guy out. Oh my God, he smells so good. The colors are so blendable. Talk about a beautiful peach color, a pigmented peach color. So good. And this in a transition is unbelievable. I love this palette. Totally love it. It smells amazing. I'm all kinds of happy about that. I've talked about these so much. The Pretty, Fun, and Fearless palettes from Ciate London and Chloe Morello. These are pigmented to the gods. These colors are so creamy, so pigmented. I mean, y'all saw I didn't even do a hard swatch with that one. This green is just beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yes. Yes, Chloe, great job. These are totally amazing palettes. Plus, they're really price efficient because you can get a whole kit with them. You get the eyeliner, a lip, and a mascara with them. I love these palettes. Forgot to fall up here. And then last but not least, you cannot have a palette video without talking about the Model Renaissance. I do keep mine in the sleeve so it doesn't get so dirty. Like, look how tore up my sleeve is. These colors are beautiful. I just reached to this palette just to get Love Letter. It's one of those colors I don't have in any other palette. These are beautiful. There's a reason everybody loves this palette. So yeah, absolutely love that palette. You guys, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, hit that button below, become part of our family. I hope this video was somewhat helpful. If y'all want a video of like me using one of these palettes and doing a whole eyeshadow look or creating a look, let me know down in the comment. I would love to film that, except the Kylie palette. I won't put that on my eyes. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you've got any of these palettes, let me know if you love them. What do you think? Was I on the right track? If you guys want more videos like this, let me know. You know, all that good stuff. All right, love bugs. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure and like this video. It lets me know you like it. Bye, y'all. Hit the button.